Tess is reckless, even for a Goliath Forgeborn. So reckless in fact that she has been a prospect far longer than most, even the most savage Vatborn Goliath gangs finding her too dangerous to have around for long. Somehow though, Tess has survived every dumb thing she has ever done, whether it is climbing the hive shell bare-handed, her custom storm welder slung over her back and the ash winds trying to snatch her away into oblivion, or taking on whole gangs by herself, charging into their ranks before letting loose with her weapon. Tess doesn't know why she is the way she is, though those who have fought alongside her, and lived, suspect it is the lightning in her blood. Tess's batch suffered a vat malfunction during their gestation, a grid overload pumping hundreds of gigawatts of electricity into her amnio tank. Of all her vat brothers and sisters, Tess alone survived, and even from birth she displayed strange qualities. Faster and more erratic than other Goliaths, she quickly took the role of a shell runner, climbing the hive's sides and repairing its plasteel and ceramite skin, usually under the most horrific of circumstances. Her quick reactions and boundless energy kept her alive when many of her peers perished in ash storms or fatal falls. The danger of the shell, though, was not enough for Tess, as she soon started hiring herself to gangs for Underhive brawls. Her skill with a storm welder and fearlessness has made her respected by many gangs, though none have seen fit to sign her on. Tess is gathering a following of her own, however, and the day may yet come when she runs her own crew filled with wild prospects like herself. Konnichiwa, and welcome back to Wellywood Wargaming. My name is Damon, and this is the gigantic and wholesome series where I give you every single Dramatis Personae and hired gun in the game of Necromunda in a bite-sized little video format. A little bit of lore there for Tess Arcup, but before we get into this, please do like, share, subscribe, chuck us a super thanks or a comment down below, and check out the Patreon as well. Much appreciated. Now, Tess Arcup, another one to add to the massive plethora of Goliath exclusive bounty hunters and Dramatis Personae. Tess, she's a weird one. I have to say I've never actually used her. There is no official model for this either, but you could probably just adapt one of the Forgeborn or whatever they're called from the Goliath kit. I can't stand those models personally, so I'd probably do something else. This one's a really interesting one. The lore's quite funny, I suppose, but let's look at the stats quickly. For 90 credits, it's not too bad, but it is a bit of a weird one. Movement 6, okay, so fast, very, very nice indeed. We've got a weapon skill of 4+, a ballistic skill of 4+, a strength of 3, a toughness of 4, wounds 1, initiative 2 up, attacks 1. Mental stats are leadership 8+, cool 5+, willpower 7+, intelligence 7+. So not great in terms of the stats. The standout things there, of course, are the toughness, which is standard for Goliath, and a movement 6 there. Movement 6 really shines when you take into account that this is a Goliath sort of unique character. So you are getting a little bit of speed out of her, that's for sure. And you're also getting some unique skills here as well with clamber and sprint, which are both agility skills. Clamber is excellent. It means you can treat climbing just like you're moving normally, and sprint as well. Means that you can go 6, 12, 18 inches on a double move, which is fantastic as well, if my maths are correct. We've also got a storm welder and furnace plates for weapons. The storm welder being obviously a massive, weird weapon, which is reckless and extra dangerous and stuff. It's an interesting one. So I'm trying to think about how you might utilize Tess Arcup in your games of Necromunda. I do think just highlighting the movement there with sprint and clamber means that you could pretty much use a 90 credit cheap chaffy model like this to do other stuff like hunting objectives and getting loot caskets and stuff like that. So it's probably worth thinking about using this character for some of that stuff, because I actually think it's going to be better than popping off a storm welder with ballistic skill 4 up, potentially taking out your own fighters and yourself in the process, which is usually what happens, of course. If you've used a storm welder, you will know well enough. Now, using this character as a outcast leader would be absolutely bananas, and you'd be a nutcase for doing it, but you'd also get a lot of points and respect from me for doing so. So, you know, if you have done it, then then great, but I wouldn't advise it. It's a bit of a weird one. I can't really see the development of this character you know, throughout a campaign. It would be quite a weird one. But I mean, obviously having that only 1 wound and a bunch of mental stats that aren't particularly great does mean that you haven't really got your sort of ideal leader type here, really, if I'm honest. Not a huge amount more to talk about with Tess. I'm not really sure I'd ever really see myself using this character, except maybe for the things that I highlighted earlier, like using her as an objective go-getter or someone to just do sort of reconnaissance in a game that you might need. But yeah, the Storm Welder, it's always fun. It's always there if you want to use it. And this character is all about that fun and silly and fluffiness that you get in Necromunda. Certainly not an optimal choice, but certainly very fun. So please do let me know if you've used her in your games and she's done some shenanigans. I'd like to know in the comments down below. But that's really it for Tess Arcup. So I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.